Malacanang reiterated its call for former presidential spokesperson Harry Roque to return to the Philippines. In a briefing, Palace Press Officer Undersecretary Attorney Claire Castro urged Roque to go home, calling him a fake news peddler. This came after Roque referred to President Marcos as bangag and questioned Senator Amy Marcos about her brother's possible use of illegal drugs. In response, Roque slammed Castro for acting like a vlogger and criticized the administration for neglecting pressing issues such as rising poverty and hunger. He also pointed out the administration's declining approval ratings and urged the palace to focus on providing real solutions to the country's problems. A Filipino-Dutch activist slams former presidential spokesperson Harry Roque for his lifestyle in the Netherlands. Joel De Vega posted photos on Facebook of Roque supposedly sightseeing and taking strolls in Ter Apel. He pointed out the stark contrast between Roque's life and the struggle of at least 127 farmers allegedly displaced by a POGO-linked land deal involving the former official. He also claimed that Roque is receiving a €600 monthly allowance as an asylum seeker, while farmers in Bataan allegedly face eviction. To talk about this issue, we have Filipino-Dutch activist Joel De Vega via Zoom. Welcome to Morning Matters. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, Gretchen, for having me.
Okay, Sir Joel, before we begin talking about the issues before us, I wanted to get more clarity on your relationship with the former spokesperson. Paano niyo po nakilala ito si Harry Roque, and when did you start speaking out on these issues?
Well, I don't know him personally, so I hadn't met him personally. But I follow the news in the Philippines closely through social media, mainly through Facebook. And with my deep interest in current events here, I learned about his arrival here in the Netherlands and his announcement that he asked for asylum in the Netherlands. And when I heard that, I think that was mid or second week of March, I was a bit surprised because something is off, and I realized that someone has to speak out about it. And I decided to write a petition to the Dutch IND, the Immigration Office, on March 21, and also posted a summary or a similar text in Facebook. Also wrote a letter to the local newspaper called the Volkskrant, and also mailed the petition by mail, traditional mail. And that was last March 21.
And you also started the signature campaign, which collected, I think, 21,000 signatures against the asylum application of the former presidential spokesperson. I want to unpack these issues. The first being your post on Facebook on the land grabbing. Can you tell us more about that? How did you get to know about that? That is actually new information for us here. At ano po yung sinasabi nung impormasyon na yun?
Well, first, the petition has now gathered around almost 28,000 as of today. About the land grabbing case, so I opened the petition last March 21, and a few weeks passed. I think that was the last week of March, when I received some information from a farmers group in Mariveles, Bataan. So they started sending me documents and photographs asking for my help. And I read the documents, I read I look at the photographs, examine their statements, and I realized that there is a story in that, because I hadn't seen it in the internet, or I hadn't read about it in previous months or in previous years. And I chatted with one of them, and it turned out that they claimed that they didn't get any support or help from authorities, and they were also largely ignored by the local media. So they asked for my help, and with that, I told them, okay, I will read through your papers and documents and make my assessment. And the documents look very convincing. They were copies of the charge sheet that they filed in January 23, 2023 at the Ombudsman. And in the charge sheet, they alleged through their lawyers that Roque created a company called Biancam Holdings Corporation, which is a 50-50 partnership between Green Miles Realty and another company called uh, uh, First Bataan Maribelis Holding Corporation. So these three companies are involved in a 1.8 billion project linked to a township or a POGO hub in Maribelis, Bataan. So with that information, I went through it and I checked with some of my friends back here in the Philippines. And with that information, I decided to help the farmers and post a summary of their complaints in Facebook on April 13. So, almost more than 3 weeks after I posted the petition. And yes, the post last April 13 exploded again. I think it attracted almost 1,000 engagement and more than I think 1,000 uh, Facebook users shared it. So I was surprised that this news hasn't been well shown or broadcasted or wrote about in the Philippine media. So this is one of the reasons why I decided to help them to uh, get some more attention and to get attention from the press, from the local press here.
It seems to be a grave misconduct suit filed by 77 farmers before the ombudsman. As said in your post, other related charges include forgery, serious dishonesty, and falsification of public documents. But sir, I can't help but wonder also, did you at any point wonder about the authenticity of these documents? Nakita ko po, nag-post po kayo ng ilang photos, no? Medyo malabo po yung litratong nakita ko. At pati yung papers parang sa harapan, hindi ko rin nakita yung pangalan ni Attorney Harry Roque. Meron po ba kayong pag-iimbestiga na ginawa when it comes to that? Because uso rin po ngayon yung maraming fake news, no? Maraming mga edited photos, ganun.
Yes, right. Actually, the names of Harry Roque was on the first page of the charge sheet.
Okay.
Yes, it's indeed a bit not clear because the farmers they sent it through messenger. No, I didn't had any doubts about the authenticity because there were also other events linked to their complaints that were reported in the media. They were in fact very afraid, or they were intimidated because there were threats to their life. They were harassed by certain groups of people, asking them to leave the property that they used to occupy. So with that in mind, I, I decided to help them, and also I asked. Also, I made a statement in my post for Harry Roque himself to respond, because I would be willing to report on his response, and even the farmers are also very much interested to know his response. But the thing is, Gretchen, there is no response from Harry Roque since April 13. So if he would come out and direct message me and say, Joel, this is the real deal, then I would be willing to put that, to post it in Facebook side by side with the claims of the farmers. But the thing is, I hadn't heard anything from him. And
Just
that
completing.
to me is a very, strange or odd way of, you know, dealing with farmers, because, as you know, he's running in a party list in the election campaign, and in his election campaigns, his slogan is to help farmers And here are 127 farmers, and 77 of them dared to file charges, and yet they haven't received any reaction, a single reaction from him since 2023.
And just completing that story for our audiences who don't know much about this, no? The First Bataan Mariveles Holding Corp, Green Mouse Realty, and Biancham Holdings Corporation is an investment group that allegedly built or was built for a township meant for a POGO hub project to be established in the land that was supposed to be for the farmers in Bataan. But it's so ironic. Seeing the photos of former presidential spokesperson Harry Roque enjoying the tulips of the Netherlands. Tell us all about the lifestyle of an asylum seeker. Ganyan po ba talaga? Kasi you also it seems a call for alarm, to be a call for alarm.
Well, I wouldn't actually pick on his lifestyle because, of course, everyone has the privilege to enjoy nature, to go around, etc. But I find it a bit, like an insult, or I am very uncomfortable with the fact that here is a man, very influential, a lawyer, and asking for asylum from the Netherlands, and going around and showing his lifestyle. And on the other hand, here is a group of farmers who have complaints against him, and yet he hasn't been responding to their complaints. The farmers told me that they only want to know what is the real deal because they are waiting for the case to move in the ombudsman where they filed the case. But the thing is, it's not been moving since 2023 for some reasons. I don't know the reasons why it's not moving, but already they help. They are following it up with their lawyers, attorney Danny Villanueva. But up to now, there is still no resolution from the ombudsman whether to upgrade the case of the Sadikan Bayan. So I think that's the problem here. If Harry Roque would come out and come clean with what is the real score behind this company that is linked to a POGO hub in Bataan, then all of us here would have an explanation, and nobody would be questioning his, going around and enjoying the tulips in the Netherlands because that is his privilege. The thing is, it has become very ironic that he has this lifestyle, while at the same time you have these farmers who are facing ejection from a beachfront property that they are now occupying because they were asked to leave their original homes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but an official asylum seeker, gets weekly allowances for basic needs, access to healthcare and education for their children, and the right to work. They're also entitled to free legal assistance during the asylum procedure. Is that, am I getting that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Because Harry Roque is in a stage where he is asking for asylum, and these asylum seekers are given benefits like a weekly food allowance, a weekly living allowance, and also accommodation. But if you have friends in the Netherlands who can accommodate you, then you're not obliged to stay in the so-called camps, asylum camps.
I'm getting information, though, that his visa is only going to last for months. What happens then if his visa expires?
Well, he asked for asylum, so his visa is no longer active. Because once you ask for asylum, you are given protection, actually. Until your asylum is accepted, then you are under the protection of the asylum center. So,
Joel, how
until
difficult
then,
is it or easy to get an asylum in the Netherlands? There has been a change in administration there in the Netherlands. How long are the lines for asylum seekers?
it's not easy. It's very difficult. because especially now that since last year we have a right-wing coalition in the parliament, and they've been asking and proposing stricter rules. So even without that, since the last decade, the Netherlands has been slowing down on the entry of migrants because of public sentiment pressure. So uh, even without the right-wing campaign, getting asylum here in the Netherlands is not easy. So before it used to be 6 months to wait, and now it has been around 9 months, and maybe a bit more, maybe a year, because some would be extended because there is a backlog in the Netherlands. So a lot of people are in the queue waiting for their asylum approvals. So yes, it's not difficult to get one.
Well, it will be challenging, especially with the petition with 28,000 signatures to date. Maraming salamat. No? Thank you so much for shedding light on those issues for us. We hope to be able to dig deeper into those. Maraming salamat, Filipino-Dutch activist Joel Vega, lending a voice to the farmers of Mariveles, Bataan.